Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday, friends. We are excited to have today with us Jamie Ruiz. Welcome, Jamie, who will be leading us in two songs. So come on in.
Standing outside the doors, and offer mercy. To wonder if there's a place there for you. To know there's peace inside. Basta yo searching for someone that understands the pain you've been through. When the doors unlock, the lights are gone. Are you weary when you fall? Come on in, let go hard to allow to belong here now. No matter where you feel, come on in. You find a piece of rest in your self-pity, 'cause waiting solo for your heart coming back. You know the peace you seek, and how you feeling, spirit want to hold you, want to wipe your tears away. When the body waits, when open eyes, God is calling out your life. Come on in, let go hard to allow to belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. There is one here now in the house of love for someone just like you. Come on in, let go hard to allow to belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, let go hard to allow to belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, let go hard to allow to belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. Come on in. Thank you.
Come on in. Wow. All of our brave souls who are here today with the winter cold, thank you for being here. And let's give another great welcome and thank you to our choir, but to Jamie and our Unity Band. Thank you. And it seems like I haven't been here for a while, and that's because we were on a cruise, and some of our community members went on this amazing cruise in Baja California, which happens to be in Mexico. It was a lot of fun. The best part of it was the deep bond that we created with one another. And I envisioned that in the future we would have more of our community members attend so that we can create these amazing bonds. And one of the bonds that we made was with Paula's children, and one of her sons is here today. Brandon, if we can give Brandon a nice welcome. And so being part of this cruise really allowed us to see us in a different light. We got to see each other dancing and singing every night. And we definitely broke bread plenty of times and prayed with one another. And we discovered a whole different world on excursions, and it was so much fun. And we hope that we can share more about it during our fellowship experience after the service. But today, I want to continue that theme that we were engaged on our cruise, and that is the theme of gratitude. And I want to start by thanking all of the angels that put away our Christmas decor so we could start the new year. So let's hear for all of the angels and volunteers who helped. It's much easier to put up Christmas decorations than put away. Don't you guys agree with that? Yeah. Especially Christmas lights. Have you ever done that, right? It takes a lot of patience and determination. So with gratitude in our heart, let's keep opening our heart with an opening prayer. If we can just take a nice deep breath and just fill your heart with warm feelings of gratitude, being grateful for our families, for our community, but also for allowing us to see the world from a higher mindset, knowing there is greater good out there. As we open our heart and mind to that knowingness that there is greater good present here, we recognize that we are divine. We are willing to express our divinity on earth as it is in heaven, being that higher consciousness. We open ourselves to learning to what is ours to do. What is ours to do in this moment? It's a question that we can ponder on, but it's also an answer. It's an answer because we are that answer to the questions that we have in our heart. With love, hope, and faith, we give gratitude for all the blessings that we receive, all the blessings that we express, and all of the blessings that we're presently here for. With love and appreciation, we say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for allowing us to have an amazing, wonderful day with love and appreciation. And so it is. Amen. And now please welcome Mark for the daily word.
Good morning. I am a novice at this. This is my inaugural daily word. And the daily word today is growth, from March 24th, 1950. Under the guidance of Spirit, I learn and I grow in every experience. If we were never called upon to adjust ourselves to new conditions and new personalities, we should experience no growth. It is growth that gives life zest and meaning. It is good that every once in a while to stop and take a look backward into our life. When we do this, we see that every change in life has demanded of us, has brought us knowledge of life and people that we did not have before. Confidence in ourselves and in life that we did not have before, and a range of vision that we did not have before. If we were to stop and take such backward glance every time we confronted with new change, we would not nearly be so hesitant about change, nearly so resistant to it. We should surely approach every change with mind and heart open to receive the new knowledge and the new confidence and new vision that it has for us. We free ourselves from any feeling of resistance when we accept change, potential growth, for it is growth that our soul really longs for. And from Psalms 51, verse 10, renew a right spirit within me. Thanks. The daily word is growth.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are all part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are my in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold my in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of God. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Can we hear it for Jamie one more time? Thank you. Thank you. And also, I want to give thanks for Juan Lorenz because he has amplified our music. I mean, we hear different instruments in the background. It's like a huge band is playing behind us. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. So that song that we just heard, we got to experience it live on our cruise because we got to meet Karen Drucker herself, who wrote that song. And what was amazing about Karen Drucker is that she is just like any of us. She was out there playing pickleball with our community members and learning how to play. She's an avid tennis player, so it was great to see her in a different light other than music. And I'm holding in the consciousness, and maybe as a community we can hold this in consciousness. Let's affirm that Karen Drucker will come to visit our community in 2024. Yes. So we need to just ask and see what we shall receive. But we know that we had a lot of great connections with her, and we hope that she's willing to at least come to visit and see us once more again in person. So let's take a moment now to just recognize where we are in our world today, where we are in our life. I want to start with a simple and yet direct question. And that simple question is, how many of us here want to fulfill and achieve your intentions for 2024? Raise your hands. All right. So that means that you are also willing to learn, and you're also willing to change. You're willing to change. Now, the word change has a lot of baggage to it, and I'm going to break that down in a few minutes. So if I were to ask the question again, how many of us are willing to change in 2024? There might be a little bit of hesitation from some of us, and maybe it's because of what our idea about change is. There is baggage with that word, and sometimes when we hear it, we kind of cringe, and we get into that suspicious mode, like, what are you going to take away from me? Or what's going to be different? And in that fear of seeing the word change from a negative point of view, where we feel like something's being taken away from, or if we embody the idea of changing something about ourselves, it puts us in a vulnerable position because it's uncertain, it's unfamiliar, and we just don't know if we have the right abilities or the right resources to go through this change, to go through this growth. A lot of wisdom teachers and mystics have shared the same nugget of knowledge, which is the only constant in our world is change. So why is it that we're afraid of change at those pivotal moments of life? Robert Brummett, who happens to be one of my mentors and authors of the Unity Movement, wrote in his book, Finding Yourself in Transition, the following wisdom. He shares that what if we were to look at change differently? What if we were to affirm that change is a time for accelerated growth? That means this year of 2024 is a time for accelerated growth. Are you ready for accelerated growth? Yes. So it sounds affirmative. It sounds beautiful. I feel inspired just hearing those two words, accelerated growth. Can we say that together? Accelerated growth. Yeah. But what is that? Well, I'm going to break it down. Accelerated growth is those moments in life when you are afraid that you don't have enough resources to go through this transformation of accelerated growth, and you make the shift. And here's the shift. Imagine a seed that changes and blossoms into a flower. The nutrients for that seed to grow don't go away. They're always present. And so that's the same thing for us. The resources we have, which is the consciousness we have to manifest that growth that we're seeking, doesn't change. That peace, that faith is already in you. We just have to awaken it. We just have to nourish it. Why? Because it's a time for accelerated growth. It's a time for what? Accelerated growth. Yes. Think about other times when we're fearful of change because we believe that somehow we don't have the abilities to go through this transformation. So let's think about it in a different way. Think about the time where you were a baby and you were crawling across the floor, and then you changed and you started to walk. It wasn't because you were losing your control of the uncertainty. It was because you were gaining the knowledge and the wisdom and the experience of what is certain, that you are capable, that you are able to change and transform from crawling to walking. Why? Because it's a time for accelerated growth. And then last example that I want to share when it comes to creating the mindset of learning, creating that mindset of accelerated growth, are the moments where we're afraid and we don't believe in ourselves. And so we tell our mind over and over all the reasons why we can't. But then we take that learning lesson that it's ours to fulfill, and through that learning lesson, you shift from I can't to I can. I can. Why? Because it's a time for accelerated growth. So accelerated growth is an idea that's hard to concept because it's so up in our head. But how do we put that into practice? Well, let me show you how. And we're going to do an exercise together. I want for us to extend forward your dominant hand, whatever hand that is. Now, appreciate it for helping you lead a lot of the activities. Now, put that hand down and extend the other hand forward. Now, imagine that your non-dominant hand is the only hand you can use today. It's the only hand. Now, imagine how you would write your name. That means you would have to learn a new pattern of how to write your name, how to write each letter of the alphabet that makes up your name. Now, think about, you're only using that one hand. How are you going to get dressed with one hand? How are you going to carry your groceries and open the car with that one hand? So we have to learn a new pattern. We have to learn new patterns to function. And so learning a new pattern is called paradigm. It's making a paradigm shift. The word paradigm comes from the Greek word parademia. Parademia, it means pattern. And to make a shift from being afraid to feeling totally confident of your accelerated growth is a paradigm shift, which means we have to learn a new pattern. And to learn a new pattern, we have to do what's required when your non-dominant hand has to learn a new pattern. And that which is required is focus. You have to focus on a new pattern. You have to focus of how your hand is going to hold that pencil. You're going to have to focus and be present in the present moment. The reason why we have to be present is because it's a whole new pattern. It's a pattern that you've never done before. And so that is what's being called for us to do in 2024. Create a pattern that hasn't been done before. So it's going to require us to focus. Be in the present moment. Now, if we're angry, upset, there's no way you're going to tie your shoelace if you're angry and upset and you're trying to do it with one hand, your non-dominant hand. When we get lost in our emotions, we kind of lose our perception of being in the present moment. The benefit of focusing on a new pattern is that it brings meaning to our life. It brings purpose to our life. There's an author, but also a Holocaust survivor, who actually watched his family be murdered during the Holocaust. Dr. Viktor Frankl says, and this is in context to change, so hear it in the context of change. Perhaps the deepest of all human needs is we need to find meaning in our experiences. Perhaps the deepest of all human needs is we need to find meaning in all of our experiences. So when we come into those pivotal moments of change and transformation, we're seeking meaning. We're seeking a new meaning that is an accelerated growth experience. So our past experiences that we had since childhood are rich with life lessons that give us meaning. And some of those life lessons that give us meaning has shaped the way we see our world, the way we see ourselves, which is that paradigm. And so when we learn these experiences early on in life, we carry them into our present day. While there are some experiences that are hard to go through in life, today I want to share one that we have in common. And that experience is when we were in kindergarten. In kindergarten, there were a lot of great lessons that gave us meaning and purpose of how we see and connect with the world today. Here are 5 important lessons that we learned. And I want for us to reflect on them and see if you're still practicing these life lessons today, and I will share what kind of meaning they provide us. These 5 lessons were taken from a parents' and teachers' blog, and they're in no particular order. So the first meaningful lesson that we learned in kindergarten is to take naps and rest times. How many of us are still doing that today? Great. How many of us wish we could do more of that? Yes. So if you're practicing this today, what you value is self-care. You value giving your mind a break so that when you're awake, you can see the world differently. You can be refreshed. The second lesson is share and listen more. How many of us are sharing and listening more today? This is not a trick question. Okay, how many of us are listening more? Trying. I love your honesty. So if you're sharing and listening more, what you value and find meaningful is compassion, is building relationships. All right, so here's the third one, and I hope no one's doing this one today, but it's a meaningful lesson that we learned in kindergarten. And that is, don't eat glue. Don't eat glue. This is not a trick question either. So if you're not doing this, what this means is that you value other wiser choices. You value wisdom. Now the fourth one is respect your elders. How many of us are doing that here? Great. What you value is that every stage of life is important. Every stage of life is important. And then number 5 sums them all up, which is always keep learning. And if you're doing that today and you're open to that, not only are you going to achieve what's yours for 2024, but it also means that you value, get this, that you are open to your greater good. Learning is that you value the willingness to the greater good, which if you think about it, that is spirituality, right? It's opening ourselves to the presence of God. It's opening ourselves to the connections of the essence and spirit of what God is. So taking that last idea, always keep learning. How do we keep learning even in those times where it seems like things aren't going in our direction? And so here's a story from the book of Exodus. Abraham is discouraged because he cannot bear a child to call his heir. And so year after year after year, he gets discouraged. And while he's getting discouraged, he starts to settle for a smaller idea. And his idea is, well, if I can't have an heir, I might as well make the servant my heir. And what's relevant about this story is that sometimes when we're on our journey to achieving our intentions, things may not seem like they're going in the right direction. And so we may settle on an idea that is not ours. And so the word servant metaphysically means exactly that, an idea that is not ours. And that idea that is not ours is doubt, worry, and being fearful, being afraid to go through this pivotal moment. And so here, and so much that we kind of lose that meaning. We lose that sense of direction of wanting to see the greater good. So we stop learning. So as the story continues, Abraham tries to seek meaning. And in that moment where he's seeking meaning, he hears his insight, also known as the voice of God. And that insight says the following: look up at the sky and count the stars. If indeed you can count them, so shall your offspring be. So Abraham counts the stars in the sky, and his vision is fulfilled. He has an heir, a child, who then bears 12 more sons who end up creating the kingdom. And so what this means for us is that we, metaphysically, when we look up towards the sky, what we're doing is we're shifting our mindset to a higher consciousness. We're elevating ourselves to see what we're going through differently. Counting, whenever we count something, that means we're focusing on something. Counting the stars in this story means we're counting the blessings. We're counting God's promises. And those blessings are already within you. Those promises are already within you. As we shift our focus to counting our blessings, to counting our promises, we shift our mindset to the greater good, also known as learning. Learning allows us to manifest the good that we're seeking. It opens our heart so that we can create a whole different reality. One of the other ways to go through this transformation process of change and recognize it and affirm it as a time for accelerated growth is to shift our paradigm by learning about other cultures. Our fellow travelers that went on the cruise last week, we got exposed to a different culture. We got to learn about them, but we also got to learn about ourselves and what we value and find meaning. There is a cultural series that I watch on Netflix, and it's a Turkish television series. And I'm not going to say the name because the name's not that important, but if you're wanting to know the name, I'll share it during fellowship. What I love about this series is the message in this series. So here is the overall idea of that series and how it relates to us as we go through our process of accelerated growth. This series has two central characters, and they're both in the news media platform. The first woman, she is a very seasoned reporter, and she loves what she does. She loves her passion of reporting the news. And so her focus is on the things that bring meaning to her life. The other character is a younger woman who has no interest in learning. However, her way of moving forward in life is by manipulation, manipulating others to get forward in life. And so sometimes we do that to ourselves, is that we manipulate ourselves to believing ideas that don't belong to us, and that's how we're trying to get forward in life. But as we know, when we worry, when we doubt, when we get jealous or envious of others, it's hard to move forward in life. And so as this series continues, at the end of this series, this is a spoiler alert for those who are thinking about watching this series, is at the end of the series, the woman who tries to seek meaning in her life, she realizes that at the end of the day, even though she had to go through all of these rabbit holes to get through her success, she is surrounded and supported by her contemporaries. She is surrounded by people who love her and who support her. The other woman, at the end of the series, is left by herself. No one is there to support her. No one is there to cheer her on. And so she goes deeper into her turmoil of despair and uncertainty. And so this story has the overlying message, meaning that if we follow our purpose, if we follow by seeking meaning in our lives, then we shall prevail with all the support and love that we need. If we go off that track, we can be in that place of despair, uncertainty, where we feel alone and no support around. Now, I want for us to apply this message into our lives by thinking of a pivotal moment that you might be having today. Maybe it's a career change. Maybe it's a relationship or a pivotal moment where you're still trying to debate, should I go this way or should I go that way? And so your answer is within you. It is that voice of God. And how we can apply this esoteric idea into a practical setting is to ask yourself, What meaningful experience can I have in this present moment? What meaningful experience can I demonstrate in this present moment? Maybe that inner voice is asking you to ask for help. Maybe that inner voice is saying, take one small step forward towards your accelerated growth. Maybe that inner voice is affirming prayer and meditation, just like we learned from the kindergarten list, take times of rest. So here's a powerful quote from a legendary author and Nobel Prize winner. Toni Morrison, in her novel Home, shares the following. Look to yourself. You are free. Nothing and nobody is obliged to save you but you. Somewhere inside you is that free person I'm talking about. Locate her and do some good in our world. When we hear Toni Morrison's wisdom, do you feel like she's talking to you? Well, guess what? She is talking to you. And whether she used the pronoun her, it applies to all of us. So let's hear that wisdom again and activate it into our bodies. Ready? Look to yourself. Look to yourself. Look at your body right now. Look to yourself. Extend your arms, your legs. Look at your body. Look to yourself. You are free. Nothing and nobody is obliged to save you. Somewhere inside you is that person I'm talking about. Locate that person and do some good in our world. Amen. Do some good in our world. That person is you. That person is inside you. That person is you. Now, if we're willing to learn, that means we're opening ourselves to the greater opportunities that are available inside of you. You have all the wisdom needed to be free. And sometimes that learning lesson is forgiveness. We have to learn to forgive so we can free ourselves. Locate that person. Sometimes we have to take that first step. Locate that person. Sometimes we have to help another so we can realize what our value is. Locate that person. That person is you. Now, the ability to learn is our theme of this year, which is to captivate your heart to capture our world. If you're doing this mindset of learning, you're also fulfilling Unity's 5 principles. And here they are quickly. The first one, if you're willing to learn, is that you are seeking the greater good. You're seeking the presence and spirit of what God is. Unity principle number 1. If you make the commitment to experience and seek the greater good, that means you affirm, I am good. Unity principle number 2. If you affirm, I am good, then you're thinking good, you're feeling good, you're imaging good, which is unity principle number 3. And if you're doing all of that, you're being open to receiving good, which is prayer and meditation, unity principle 4. And if you put action steps to move forward in demonstrating your good, then you are living your truth, which is unity principle number 5. There you go. Just learn. Learn. Right? One word. Learn. Now, some of us always seek for a takeaway. Like, what can I take away? How can I focus on accelerated growth? Well, let's look at the PowerPoint slide, and here are the 5 steps. It's a review of what we did with the wisdom that we learned in kindergarten, in no particular order. F for free your mind by learning. O, open your mind with rest, naps, and times for meditation. And C, choose better choices. In other words, don't eat glue, right? You understand each phase is valuable. So right now, you are planting a seed. We can't expect for you to be a blossom tomorrow in this 0-degree weather. We have to give it time. So understand each phase is valuable. And then S, share and listen more. And here's one part that I want to emphasize. Sometimes when we're taking that rest, those little breaks in our day, what are we doing with that rest? Are we learning a new pattern, or are we stuck on an old pattern? Sometimes we use that rest to worry, to doubt. But what if you were to use that time of rest to learn something new, to share, to listen to your inner voice, the inner voice that says, I can, I will, and I am. So our takeaway is right up on the screen here. However, the action steps that we're taking as a community of learning this year in 2024 is that every month, the last Sunday, we're creating an enrichment experience. Last week, we had Lillian Flowers. Where's Lillian? Thank you. The last Sunday of this month, we have Reverend Lucy. February will be Scott. March, we're honoring Easter. So that's the lesson. April, yours truly. So what we're going to do is create experiences of enriching our minds so that we can apply the theme of the year, the mission of captivating your heart so that you can capture your world. So let's affirm together. I am willing and able. I am willing and able to recognize this is a time for accelerated growth. To recognize this is a time for accelerated growth. And so it is. Amen. And now please join us for Lindsay in our meditation.
Okay, I invite you to join me in step 2 of opening through a guided meditation. So find a comfortable position. Close your eyes if that feels good for you. Allow your body to relax. Maybe even use gratitude. Being thankful for this day to help you get present. As you take a big, deep breath in and just exhale slowly. Once again, take a nice, big, deep breath in and exhale slowly. Allow that breath to help you feel that ease, presence, and thankfulness. Allow your breath to reach the soles of your feet, to the tips of your fingers, to the crown of your head. Breathe in that ease, source, God, and breathe out, expanding your spirit, connecting, awakening to all that is. We breathe into the possibility, the wonder, to presence, knowing this is right where you need to be, and everything is inside you. As we breathe out, we release anything not serving us, any worry, fear, grudges. We release it knowing that the root of all of it is love, there to protect you, But we return to that root, the love, allowing it to bless our body, bless our experiences, and bless our world. Today we set the intention to be that good, bring the good, and be present. We enter the silence, allowing that energy of love to fill you, fuel you, and radiate from you. As we take another big, deep breath in, we feel that presence, knowing that energy flows where our attention goes. We get to choose our focus. We get to open to the gifts inside us, embracing the growth, blessing all that is. And with that, we open our eyes, bring our awareness back to this space, to this moment. We allow a smile to grace our face as we look around and know that we can be the good and bring the good. And with that, let us prepare for the offertory.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Schmall, and I'm on the Board of Trustees and your leadership team, and I'm delighted to be back after the cruise, although the weather was a bit of a shock. Unity of Oak Park is a self-funded spiritual community. Your offerings help us continue to make a difference so that we can come together for service and events, pay for the operations of the church and our Sunday team. Know your contributions matter to keep our community and dreams alive. There are many ways to give. You can use the Support Unity button on our website, text a donation to 708-980-0073 from your phone, or place a check or cash in the baskets or at the door, and of course, mail a check to our office. We are so grateful for your financial contributions, in addition to your donations of time and talent, which allow our ministry's mission to grow and thrive. As our founder, Myrtle Fillmore, says, because this is given in love, it is blessed to the giver, blessed to the receiver, and blessed to the cause. Now let us invite our prayer chaplains forward as we prepare our offerings.
So blessed, we are so blessed, we are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed, we are so blessed, we are so grateful. We are so blessed.
Please remember remember our chaplains are here and available to pray with you and support you before and after service. And please join them every Monday on Zoom for prayer and meditation. Details are on our website. Let us affirm our offertory prayer together as we bless all of the prayers in our hearts, the service we give to make our community operate, and the financial offerings we contribute that make our community thrive. Divine love, expressing as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Amen. Amen.
Easy grace of grace that holds in store. I see them move for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white. The promises there, the dark second night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The color of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, "How do you do?" Don't really saying, "I love you." I hear babies cry, what's in gloom, then there's more than ever know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Thank you.
Let's hear it one more time for Jamie and our musicians. Thank you so much for the beautiful music this morning. My name is Janine, and I'd like to remind you that a great way to know what's happening here at Unity of Oak Park and to be engaged is by visiting our website. You may also stop by our community table in the back to pick up a welcome package and join us for fellowship after the service in the solarium. Everyone is invited to visit our community board in the fellowship room to learn more about upcoming events and volunteer experiences. Here are a few highlights that you can explore more from our website. The second annual Chili Cook-Off will take place on Sunday, February 4th at 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Sign up online to either taste and vote or to enter your favorite chili recipe and become the Unity of Oak Park Chili Champion. For the last Sunday of the month, as Rev mentioned, Scott Buchanan will lead a workshop about how to succeed by enriching your relationships based on the book Fierce Conversations on Sunday, February 25th after the service. The Mastermind Group will meet twice a month on the second and fourth Sundays from 9 to 9:45 a.m. in the chapel. The next meeting will be held next Sunday, January 28th. All are welcome. There are 2 Board of Trustees openings for anyone interested in being on the board this year. If you are interested in serving, please read the qualifications and fill out the application on our website under About Us Board of Trustees. At this time, I'd like to call up Reverend Lucy for a special announcement about the Vision Workshop.
Good morning. How many of you have ever pondered the thought of what your life vision is? Good. This book by Reverend Michael Beckwith is called Life Visioning. Now, I studied with Dr. Michael for 4 years in ministerial school, and I was privileged to take this workshop that he did about 3 or 4 times. Because even though I was in ministerial school, I didn't know what I was supposed to do. And I figured it out finally. So this class will show you basic things like there's 5 questions that you will receive from me about your life vision. Very simple, nothing to it. You'll receive a little notebook that I'll prepare for you with the questions, with paper so you can write ideas. There will be discussion, there will be prayer, there will be meditation. Now that sounds like a lot to cram in for about an hour and 15 minutes or so, but we'll do it. So please join me with this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Lucy. That is certainly something to look forward to. We would also like to bless our youth leaders, Chris Manville and Baba Tony Brown, and our youth upstairs. Please rise and join us for the prayer of protection, followed by the peace song as we conclude the service. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Amen.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. With each other in perfect harmony. Let this begin with me, and this be the moment with every step I take. Let this be my joy as well. Amen. Happy Sunday.